Okay, so now we are going to continue with the methods of applying water to the crop. So before that, let me confirm whether screen is visible to you, slide is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will continue. The next method of applying water to the crop is the contour farm. In Kolhapur district, many times we have observed such a contour farming. Okay, so where the contour farming is adopted, the contour farming is adopted along the hill slopes. So this is the sketch for contour farming. So we can see that the contour terraces are formed with help of the contour points. The contour farming consists of formation of terraces. So we can see the plan and we can see the cross section. And for that, the contour bunds are constructed. So here some earthwork is required, and by earthwork, this type of terraces are formed, and then the plots are made ready. So in contour farming, to prepare these contour bunds, okay, this information is important to decide the spacing of the contour bunds and to decide the section of the contour bund. So if we see this first table, so we can see that based on what is the slope of the land. So what is the vertical interval between two contour terraces and what is the horizontal interval between two contour terraces, two contour bunds. So that is decided. समजताना मी काय म्हणतो ते की स्लोप ऑफ द लँड किती आहे त्याच्यावरती दोन स्टेप जे आहेत एक कंटूर टेरेस आणि दुसरा कंटूर टेरेस तर त्याच्यामध्ये व्हर्टिकल डिस्टन्स किती असावं आणि हॉरिझॉन्टल डिस्टन्स किती असावं. So these are the guidelines provided by the hydrologist. So if the slope of land varies from 0 to 1%, then vertical interval allowed is 1.05 and horizontal distance allowed is 105. And if it is in between 3 to 4%, in that case, the vertical interval is 1.65 meter and the horizontal distance is 52. So if the vertical interval is more, then the horizontal distance is reduced. The width of the plot is reduced. Now to decide the dimensions of the bund, the second table is useful based on what is the depth of soil available and these particular dimensions are given for these contour bunds. So if depth of soil is shallow, likewise, when the depth is in between 7.5 centimeters to 22.5 centimeter, the base width of the bund may be taken as 2.67 meter, top width 0.38 meter, and height 0.75 meter, and side slopes should be kept as 1.5:1. Okay, we know that these contour bunds we have seen in the previous figure, these are trapezoidal in shape. So consider a trapezoidal cross section where we have to consider its base width, top width, height, and side slopes. So this table is useful for deciding the dimensions of the bund as per the depth of soil available along this. If depth of soil available is more, in that case, the section of the bund is also more. So this is about contour farm. Now, the next important method of applying water is the sprinkler irrigation. So many times we have seen such a sprinkler irrigation system. So in this figure, we can see that there is a lateral which is laid on the ground and there are the vertical risers. These are the vertical pipes. So we can see in this figure, this is a vertical riser. And to this riser, this pipe is connected and at the top end, this sprinkler is attached. And through the nozzle of the sprinkler, the water is sprinkled over the crops. Okay, so this system is just similar to the natural rainfall. So yesterday also I have explained you the layout of sprinkler irrigation system. So in sprinkler irrigation system, the main component is a pumping unit, delivery pipe, bypass valve. Okay, then there will be a screen filter. After that, there will be a pressure gauge. So here water is sprinkled over the crop, so sufficient pressure should be there. So as to adjust the pressure valve is there, pressure gauge is there. Okay, then main line is there. To the main line, lateral is connected, and to the lateral, risers are connected, and at the top of risers, sprinklers are there. So based on the sprinkler irrigation and drip irrigation, always the question is asked, write short note on. So in this, the first important thing is you have to you have to draw layout of sprinkler irrigation system. Okay, in 2D figure, you have to draw this layout. So in this, you have to show all these main components. Okay, so this is the list of components: pumping unit, main line, and sometimes sub-main lines. If area is big, in that case, main line, and there are the sub-main lines, and then there are the lines. Okay, to the laterals, risers are attached, and at the top end of the riser, sprinkler is attached. Now, why to go for sprinkler irrigation system than the conventional system we have discussed? Okay, up till now, we have discussed all conventional systems of controlled flooding. And with or in comparison with this system, sprinkler irrigation system saves a tremendous water. So here, based on the crop, how much water saving is possible by application of sprinkler irrigation is shown in this particular table. So if it is a chili, then in that case, water saving is 33%. If it is a gram, then water saving is up to 69%. So tremendous water saving is possible in sprinkler irrigation system. It not only saves the water, but also it increases the yield of the crop. Yield म्हणजे काय? It's the production. Okay, we can see that for chili crop, by using the as compared to use of conventional method of applying water to the crop, this sprinkler irrigation system results in 24% of yield increase. In case of cotton, 50% yield is increased, and in case of jawar, 34% is increased. In case of wheat, 24% is increased. Okay, so this is the advantage of the sprinkler irrigation system. It saves the costly irrigation water. At the same time, it increases the yield of the crop. Now see, this is a weighting pattern for a single sprinkler. So if sprinkler is fixed over the riser is fixed over the lateral. So this is the top view. So this shows us the weighting pattern for a single sprinkler. Now these sprinklers are having the different types of the nozzles. Okay, sometimes these sprinklers are called as the spray sprinklers. They are steady and they spray water over the area. And sometimes rotary sprinklers are used. So here this stream rotates over the area. So this is about the sprinkler head and types of sprinklers. Now the important point is, what are the advantages of the sprinkler irrigation system? The first advantage of sprinkler irrigation system is it eliminates water conveyance channels. Okay, just now we have seen various types of the controlled flooding system. Okay, such as border flooding, check flooding, furrow method. So all these methods need a conveyance channel. Okay, we have seen the figures in which the conveyance channels are either in the form of supply ditch, or they are in the form of the field channels, or they are in the form of the drain channel. So all these are called as the conveyance channels. So here there is no need of the conveyance channel. So conveyance channels are eliminated, and this reduces the conveyance loss. What is conveyance loss? Just now we have discussed. It is a loss of water during its journey due to percolation and evaporation. This particular sprinkler irrigation is suitable for almost for all types of soil, except in case of heavy clay. In case of heavy clay, the permeability is less, and that's why it is not suitable. It is observed that there is a water saving up to 30% to 50%, and it is suitable for the irrigation where plant population per unit area is very high. So what is meaning of this? Plant population per unit area. Okay, so where the number of plants are more per unit area, then it is called as a plant population is higher. So in that case, it is suitable. So it increases the yield, it reduces the soil compaction. So when other systems are implemented, a lot of soil compaction takes place because labors are required to provide the water to the fields. So during that, the soil compaction takes place. So here labors came in contact with only a small part of land. So that's why it reduces soil compaction. Now the sprinkler irrigation system is mobile system. Mobile system means what? We can remove that system and we can place it some other field. So it is having a mobility. So that's why it is easy to shift from one place to other place. So we can use for it. We can use it for variety of crops with small modifications. Then in previous discussed methods, preparation of land is necessary. Okay, some slope or gradient was necessary, which is not at all necessary in sprinkler irrigation. Even the land is undulating, the sprinkler irrigation can. So it saves the land preparation cost. It also saves the labor cost. And also the funds or levies are not required to prepare the plots. So it saves the land in preparation of funds. Then the fertilizers and chemicals that can be sprayed over the crops through this sprinkler irrigation system. Then it provides the frost protection. So in case of cold areas also, it can be used beneficially. And one more point is there, it reduces the labor cost. Labor cost is very less as compared to the conventional. Though there are various advantages of sprinkler irrigation systems, there are some demerits. So which are the demerits? The demerits are this sprinkler irrigation system needs higher operating cost. Operating cost means what? We know that this sprinkler irrigation needs a continuous pumping. So the cost of electricity is there. That is called as the operation cost. So it needs the continuous electricity, and so that water can be supplied under pressure. Second thing is it needs the large investment at the beginning to purchase the sprinklers and pipes. Then one more drawback of this is it's a sensitivity to the wind speed. If wind speed is higher, in that case, that sprinkling pattern will be disturbed, and the watering will not be done evenly. So that's why it may result into evaporation losses, and watering is also not done evenly if the wind speed is high. Then what happens here? The water is sprinkled over the crop. So this results in increased sensitivity to the disease. diseases can be increased because that foliage is always in wet condition. Then some debris and sediments, if they carry in the main lines and in the laterals, then they may clog the nozzles of the sprinkler. Then the capital cost, that is the initial cost, is higher and operational cost is higher. And there is a need of the continuous energy. If there is a failure of power in that case, that sprinkler irrigation system will stop. So these are the some of the limitations of sprinkler irrigation. Now the next is a drip irrigation system. So drip irrigation is a type of micro irrigation system, and it is having potential to save the water, and it is having also facility to supply the nutrients at the root zone of the crops. This drip irrigation is also known as a trickle irrigation, or it is also known as a feeding bottle technique. And this drip irrigation method permits fine control on application of moisture and nutrients at required frequency. This is the layout of drip irrigation system. So we can see that there is a open well through which the water is lifted through the pumping system, and that water passes through the delivery pipe and it reaches to the sand separator hydrocyclone, or it is a hydrocone, it is called as. So this is a sand separator. Fine particles of the sand are separated here, and comparatively clear water passes through it. Then it reaches to the sand filter, and through the sand filter, then it is connected to the main line, and main line supplies water to the number of sublines. These sublines regulates the water to the lateral. In the figure, we can see clearly the main line, the submain line, and the laterals. So such a network of pipes is laid based on what kind of crop is there. What kind of crop is there? What is the distance between two plants? Based on these things, this network of pipelines is laid. And then to the lateral, the drippers are fitted, which are called as emitters, which emits water at certain rate. This rate is in liters per minute or liters per hour. So here the water is supplied to the root zone of crop directly through the drippers. So this is a layout of drip irrigation system. So you have to draw a 2D view of this layout of drip irrigation system based on the question on drip irrigation system. So the components used in drip irrigation system are pump or pressurized water source. Second is a filtration system, such as a sand separator or a fertigation system. So through this fertigation system, the fertilizer can be supplied. So there is a Venturi injector. Venturi is used to supply the fertilizer at the root zone of the crop. There is a backflow prevention device. There is a non-return valve. There is a pressure control valve in order to maintain the flow through drippers, maintain the discharge through drippers. Then there are the distribution line, main larger diameter pipe, then secondary smaller diameter pipe, related fittings. Then there are some control valves. They may be hand operated or hydraulically operated in case of large systems. And there are small diameter polythene tubes, which are called as lateral or trickle lines. Then some fittings and accessories are required to make connection to the lateral and dripper. So drippers are the emitting devices at the plant. And at the end of lateral line, there is a flush valve to flush the lateral periodically. Okay. So similar to the sprinkler irrigation system, a lot of water saving is there, as well as the yield of the crop is increased. Now it is found that this drip irrigation system is much beneficial for most of the crops. That may be orchard crops like grape, bananas, pomegranate, orange, or it may be vegetables for like tomato, chili, capsicum, cabbage, cauliflower, or it is also suitable for cash crops like sugarcane and cotton. It is suitable for flower crops like rose and other flower crops. And it is also useful for plantation crops like tea and rubber, coffee. Also suitable for spices like turmeric, cloves, mint. Suitable for oil seed crops like sunflower, palm oil, groundnuts, and also suitable for forest crops like teak wood and bamboo. So drip irrigation system, which is invented in Israel first, and then it is widely used all over the world. So it is suitable for most of the crops in India. And see, this table shows how much water saving is there for a particular crop and how much increase in yield is possible by implementing drip irrigation system. So the first example is for the banana crops, water saving achieved is 45% as compared to the traditional methods like furrow methods. And increase in yield is up to 52%. If we take example of grapes, then water saving is 42% and increase in yield is up to 23%. Okay, so this is what we can say the bigger advantage of this drip irrigation system. Now we are going to discuss about the advantages of drip irrigation system. So as we have discussed, there is a less requirement of irrigation water as water is applied in the root zone of crop directly. So that's why no water is wasted in a conveyance system. Optimum supply of water. So that is possible. We can control the discharge through the emitter and we can decide how much liters of water is required for every watering. And accordingly, we can maintain the discharge through the dripper. So that is the meaning of optimum supply of water. We have discussed the ill effects of irrigation in that one is the water loss. So when over irrigation is carried out by the farmer, water logging takes place. So this water logging is completely avoided if drip irrigation system is implemented. It results in high yield. We have seen that chart. Then cultivation of cash crops is possible through drip irrigation. Then no over irrigation takes place here. Then we can vary the application rate, the discharge through the emitter. And as water is not applied to the entire piece of land, that's why there is a less growth of weeds. So there is a weed control. Due to drip irrigation system with available quantity of irrigation water, more area can be brought under irrigation. Then nutrients in the soil can be preserved. When the more water is applied, when the water is allowed to be flooded, that may be also a controlled flooding. What happens due to that? The nutrients in the soil, they get washed off. They get drained off from that area. So that is totally avoided here. Then pest control is achieved. Labor cost is much reduced. There is no soil erosion as water is not flowing over the surface of the soil. Then it is suitable for saline soil. In saline soil, this drip irrigation system is suitable. Crops can also be taken for saline soil. Saline soils means the soils where what we can say minerals are increased in these soils. Maintenance of high surface temperature is possible and which is required for weed control as water is applied in the root zone. That's why the entire area is not cooled. So it is possible to maintain high surface temperature. Then it is suitable for any topography as water is applied under pressure. That's why it is suitable for any topography. Now, although there are various advantages or benefits of drip irrigation system, there are certain disadvantages. In that one is it's high initial cost. Then if some sediments or some sand particles enters in the laterals, then they may block the nozzles. Then for each crop, we have changed the position of the nozzles. So that reduces the life of laterals. And the watering can be done for shallow root depth. And that's why frequent watering is required. So although there are some of the disadvantages, but also if we see that chart, a tremendous water saving is there. Along with that, uh, there is increase in yield of the crop, and that's why drip irrigation system is more popular. So based on methods of applying water to the crop, generally two questions are asked. One is on drip irrigation, other is on sprinkler irrigation. Along with that, sometimes a general note can be asked, which are the methods of applying water to the crops in controlled flooding. So in that case, you have to mention these types and you have to write its description. But these two questions are more important. One is on drip irrigation, other is on sprinkler irrigation. So with this, we end this particular methods of applying water to the crop. And in tomorrow's lecture, we will discuss about the minor irrigation. This is the second part of this particular unit number 5, whose title is Introduction to Irrigation Engineering and Minor Irrigation. So our 70% part of this chapter is over, and now only 30% is left, that is minor irrigation. So based on minor irrigation works, the questions are asked on all these four types. Question may be asked on Bandhara irrigation, maybe on Ketiver, maybe on percolation tank, maybe on lift irrigation. In tomorrow's lecture, we will discuss with this minor irrigation works. Today, we will stop here. Before that, if you have any questions, you please ask.